want to tell you a very quick story about a mother and a child. Well, a mother that I met, a child I didn't meet. So I was in India in May as we launched our State of the World's Mothers Report this year. And I went to India because it is the place in the world that the most babies die on their first day of life. 300,000 in India alone. 1 million children die on that first day. So I went to India and I met a mother named Kismati. And Kismati lived in a tiny little house in a slum in Delhi in the shadow of a giant public hospital. And she told me the story of giving birth to her daughter in her tiny little home at 4 a.m., calling her neighbor because she had no one else to call. And when her baby girl was not breathing, there was nothing either of them knew to do. The baby died in that home, in the shadow of that giant hospital. And as she was telling me this story, she was obviously very sad about that event. But suddenly her face brightened, and it brightened because her son, Shiraj, who was now 15 months old, had come over to her. And she said, this is the difference that the things that organizations like yours have made happen. Because when she became pregnant with her son, she sought out a community health worker in her town, in her village, in the place where she lived. That community health worker was somebody that was her neighbor who had been trained and knew what to do. She worked with Kismati. She made sure that the next pregnancy that she had, she sought care. She went to that hospital that you could see from her house, and she gave birth to a very healthy baby boy. And those are the kinds of changes that we've got to make.
It is a commitment to the world's children, a promise to the world's children, and we're not keeping it. We're partway there. We have done an analysis that shows, and this is a truly shocking fact, that on our current trend, we're not going to reach MDG 4 by 2015. We will reach it in 2028. And that means all the children that Carolyn was talking about will die during that period rather than be saved by 2015. This can either discourage us and say, okay, well, we can't do it, it's just impossible, or it can say there is incredible urgency in this and we damn well better do it.
MDG number 5 was really ambitious. It's a target to reduce maternal mortality by 75% by 2015. And there are only 9 countries that are going to make it. And the rest really have huge challenges, and we need to look at what were the success factors of those 9, what did they do to reduce the maternal mortality, and learn from them.
We heard about the 9 countries that will definitely achieve MDG 5, but there are only 9. 17 will achieve MDG 4. And out of those 17, 9 of them will also achieve MDG 5. Now, what we have noticed as the Independent Expert Review Group is that the countries that are likely to achieve both have actually got in place a very, very deliberate accountability mechanism that not only measures performance and evaluates performance, but has got an action-oriented feedback loop that ensures, for example, that if they collect data, civil registration, they find the causes, they record the causes of maternal mortality. They don't just record the births and the deaths. They are able to follow up on those causes of maternal mortality, address them specifically where they are, what is causing them, and start turning the picture around.
I was really lucky to have a complete, set of factors that made, the success, that resulted into the success. One is we have a very clear policy and strategy. We knew where we would like to go and how to get there. So that was very important. And the second was there was a government that was really committed, real commitment, a political will. But above all, these two could be important factors, but above all, our communities were really saying enough is enough, and they did it. So I really believe in miracles, but miracles, if the people really want to do something, that's when I say, okay, they want to do something, and they will bring something different.
As the person on the panel that is currently in the private sector, I think I can speak to the importance of private-public partnerships when done well. And I think the recognition that the private sector, large corporations or small businesses are not nameless faces, engines of economic opportunity. They also are composed of people who actually care a lot, who recognize their responsibility, who have passion and values, and have a strong stake in health, in my case, or in broader social issues. And because we are comprised of people like us in the room here who do have a deep commitment to values that exceed our own day job, we have a motivation to do more than just make good business.
How do you value the life of a woman compared to that of a man? Now, I am a feminist because I was raised by a mother and a father. I was raised by a mother who was a strong mother and who taught me how to listen to good values. And I've been taking strong interest in improving women's access to contraceptives through the Family Planning 2020 initiative, promoted safe abortions, because deciding when to have a child is every woman's right. And that is one of the issues that my mother was fighting for in the 70s in Norway. Should poor people or people who live in a remote area, should they have a healthcare of lower quality than I should? Now, if you do have a heart, the answer to that is no, they should have the same quality of services. But if you don't have a heart, you should use your brain. And the brain will tell you to do what Tony says. Because if you build up because if you reach out for those people who needs it the most, you will build up a system and you will be able to reach people in a cost-effective way, and you will leave no one behind. So, use your brain to make the right decision, but if you do have a heart, join the fight for what is right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your company, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.